Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everybody. Just getting my tech over here together. Thank you guys for coming. Good afternoon, everybody. Just want to make sure I know who's on. Um, of course, for our Go team members, I see Mr. Emerson, Ms. Watkins, our parents, Ms. Exa, Ms. Clark. Who is iPhone? Is that a member of the Go team?
I don't know. Maybe it's me. It's Howard Grant.
Yes, it is you. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'll have to fix that.
You're fine. You're fine. Just wanted to establish quorum. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that is our 5 Go team members. For our quorum.
Advice team, which you define my role.
And I'll put you back on mute, Mr. Grant, Dr. Grant. All right, Ms. Morris is in as well. Awesome. We actually have 6 Go team members on. Amazing, amazing, amazing. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start the recording on our YouTube page so that it will capture our meeting for public record. And then we'll go straight to our agenda. I will facilitate in Ms. Evans's absence on today. Good afternoon again and welcome. This is going to be a very important Go Team meeting as we're going to be looking at our budget for our second look with our budget presentation. Can everyone hear me? Just nod if you can hear me. Just want to make sure I'm giving audio. Let's go ahead with our agenda. First, we'll start with the approval of the agenda as it is. Can I get a motion on the floor to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda as
I move to-
presented.
All right, is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor, please signify with aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, signify with nay. Any abstentions? All right, it's been passed to approve our agenda for today. Mr. Emerson, please take note of the persons who made the motion and seconded it for this for the minutes. Also, we'd like to move with the approval of the previous minutes that were posted on our website. Met the motion on the floor to approve the previous minutes from January.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Move to approve.
All those, it has been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor signify with aye.
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 All those opposed? Any abstentions? All right, the ayes have it. It has been moved and properly seconded, voted upon to accept the previous minutes from last month. We do have a filling of a staff member vacancy. Ms. Jones, who was previously on our Go team, is no longer on our Go team for this particular school year. So we do have a non-supervisory staff member position vacant, and I would like to nominate a staff member. Diane, feel free to chime in if I'm not following this exactly correct. All right, so I would like to, do we vote on the nomination or do I appoint?
So you have to vote on the nomination. Did Miss Jones resign or she?
She
From the team?
put it in writing. I think she copied you on it, but she did put it in writing.
Okay, yeah, we've just been, all right, that's fine. If you have it in your email, if you could forward it, because I don't remember seeing it, but that's fine.
Yeah, because I know it's important to get it in writing. So yeah,
Yeah,
we had to kind of work with her. To
yeah.
get it in.
So you just need to make the nomination and then your team gets to vote to approve or reject the nomination.
Okay. I would like to nominate our fifth grade teacher, Ms. Mangum, for our Go team for a non-supervisory staff member. Any discussion? Now, I guess I'll entertain a motion on the floor if there's no discussion. And just, I'll speak a little bit about Ms. Mangum. She's our one of our fifth grade teachers. She's been with us at least 4 years. And so she's been one of our parents, as one of our teachers that also is a parent. Her son goes to our school as well. He's in 2nd grade. So she's definitely invested in Dunbar Elementary School. She develops a great relationship with our parents, with our students, and she is just an overall great dynamic teacher. So she's answering the call when we stated that we needed a member of the Go team. So I just wanted to put her out there and just share a little bit about what she does. All right, is there a motion to approve the nomination?
Aye.
I'll second it.
Okay, all those in favor of Ms. Mangum a member of the Go Team as a staff member, non-supervisory, please signify with aye.
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 All those opposed signify with nay. Any abstentions? So we would like to congratulate Ms. Mangum. She has been voted upon by our Go Team to join our Go Team for this school year. Congratulations, Ms. Mangum. She may be coming on this call on today. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing the agenda for a moment so I can share the budget presentation. And as I'm pulling this up, I definitely want to just share that the Go Team office this year is really making us principals work really hard with these presentations and PowerPoints for you guys. Hint, hint, Diane. So we want to make sure it's consistent across the district. So I understand why we're doing the presentations and making sure that every Go Team has a standard of information being distributed to the community. So, but yes, these are definitely well thought out, well prepared budget presentations and presentations in general that you guys are getting. So I'm going to go ahead and.
I will tell you, these are pretty much the same slides as previous years. We just refreshed the look.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. All right, let me start my slideshow. So this is one of the critical pieces for our Go Team is to look at our budget, ask questions, and to really think about our strategic priorities and how this impacts our school. So, you know, very much so, we've had one glance at the budget in our January meeting. This is our second look, and we'll have a final look. And I think I'm going into the presentation a little early with the timeline, and we'll have another look March 16th as well. So these are our norms. This is a meeting of the Go Team. Only members of the team may participate in the discussion. Any members of the public present are here to quietly observe. We will follow the agenda as noticed to the public and stay on task. We invite and welcome contributions of every member and listen to each other. And finally, we will respect all ideas and assume good intentions.
And Mr. Simpson, before we continue, I just
Mhm.
wanted to identify the second iPhone guest. I know Dr. Grant was one. I was trying to see who the second was.
Okay. Is the second iPhone, if someone's logged in with their iPhone, are you a member of the Go Team or just an observer?
I'm on an iPhone. This is Miss Conyers.
Awesome. Welcome, Ms. Conyers, another member of our Go Team. Just want to make sure we have you on our record for minutes being present. All right, so in terms of step one, it was the data review. Step two, strategic plan review, and these are things that we've already done, check, check. Step three, budget parameters and strategic priorities. And then finally, step four, budget choices, which leads us to today. All right, in terms of overview of the FY24 Go Team budget process, we are at step 5, the Go Team feedback session, where we have a draft of the budget presented and discussed. And then step 6, just moving forward, we will have our staffing conferences. I'll have my staffing conference with my associate superintendent and members of the district leadership. That is scheduled for February 27th for the Jackson cluster. And then we'll come back and meet and vote on the budget for one final time, and that is March 16th. So please mark your calendars. All right, budget feedback meetings. What? The Go Team feedback session should be scheduled for the principal to provide an overview of the school's draft budget for the Go Team members and the general public. Why? This meeting provides an opportunity for Go Teams to discuss how the school's budget has been allocated to support the programmatic needs and key strategic priorities. When? Meetings must be held in February before staffing conferences, which is what we're doing today, may be combined with allocation meetings as needed if the GO team has completed strategic plan updates and ranked strategic priorities, and we have done that. All right, so let's look at our FY24 budget parameters. So what I have done is taken our first set of priorities, strategic priorities, and basically outlined the rationale for each. So I actually pulled the first 5 that we determined on the previous meetings for our strategic priorities. The first one was weekly data review PLCs. The rationale for that is data-driven and data-based instruction to critically inform appropriate learning for students. So every week we look at our common assessments and weekly assessments to inform next steps for lesson planning and for remediation or enrichment for our students. Number 2, which is very important to us, is International Baccalaureate School-wide implementation. Now that we are officially an IB World School, IB is the school signature program that informs the philosophy of learning and learning methods of all content areas integrated, including ELA, math, science, and social studies. So we are officially a IB World School. So we are joining the ranks of King Middle School and Maynard Jackson High School. And so we'll be having a big celebration coming up on March 31st. So parents and community, you'll be getting those invitations very, very soon. We'll be having a community celebration at 12:30 on March 31st. I believe that's the last Friday before we leave for spring break. What a great way to celebrate. Number 3, focus on literacy and math instructional best practices. Dunbar is working towards the goal of 50% or more of students demonstrating proficiency in both ELA and math on Georgia milestones and our universal screener NWEA map. Number 4, ELA and math intervention blocks. So we have a 30-minute intervention block every day. And this is dedicated time for students to receive specific interventions and or enrichment for personalized learning in ELA and math. Currently, we use HMH, which is an adaptive program on the computer. Kids have their Chromebooks and or iPads, headphones, and they're getting individualized, personalized learning pathways for ELA. And then for math, we have what we call Do the Math, which is an intervention program that they're getting. We are making a shift with our math intervention block that will include small group instruction using the Do the Math resource as a small group tool. Number 5, after school Saturday tutorial. So we started that. This is our second Saturday that we just finished, and this is to ensure that students are receiving maximized opportunities for achievement and remediation after regular school hours. Descriptions of strategic plan breakout categories. So of course, priorities, these are some key terms. FY24 funding priorities from the school strategic plan. So you'll see reference to those terms ranked by the order of importance. Our APS 5 focus areas. What part of the APS 5 is the priority aligned to? That's going to be data, curriculum instruction, whole child and intervention, signature programming, and personalized learning. Those are the 5 areas that we focus on as a district to make sure our kids are getting what they need. Strategies. This lays out specific objectives for schools improvement. What are we going to do? What are we going to implement? Requests. What is the ask? What needs to be funded in order to support the strategy? And the amount, of course, is very important in terms of budgets. What is going to be the cost associated with the request? And that's what we're going to look at now. All right, let's first start with our FY24 strategic plan breakout. And most of this is aligned to our general budget. So you'll see the first priority, which we just reviewed, weekly data PLCs, and it's going to be aligned to the APS 5 area of data. What is the strategy? Facilitating ELA, math, and science data talks using weekly common assessments and map benchmarks. What are the requests? Having 2 ELA/math instructional coaches to lead this work. And you'll see the cost for 2 instructional coaches there on the right, $228,285, and that's for 2 instructional coaches. Number 2, International Baccalaureate School-wide implementation. This is aligned to our APS 5 of signature programming. What is the strategy? Facilitate IB unit planning and school-wide IB initiatives for families and the community. What is the request? 1 IB instructional coach that will be focused on science and social studies, primarily integrating the other content areas. And there you'll see the cost for an IB instructional coach, $114,143. And one thing to keep in mind as a Go team, when you see these figures, this is not their salary. This is a estimate because, of course, it's based on numbers, years of experience. And this also includes benefits that come with the position as well, like medical, retirement, those kinds of things. So this is just an average because oftentimes my staff members are ready to let me know I don't make this amount, and that's why it's a estimated amount across the district. Number 4, ELA math intervention blocks. This will be aligned to whole child intervention. And this is for us to have ELA in math, small group support and resources. That's during our ELA block and our math block, as well as our intervention. And of course, we're going to be purchasing a reading and a math specialist for next school year. And then the total for those 2 individuals will be $219,328. I'll pause for any questions. I don't want to just run through it. All right, let's keep going. In terms of our CARES budget, this is another bucket of funds that we have. So the total allocation is $185,220. So that's the total for CARES. And of course, this is a product of the funds from federal government in response to COVID, in response to the pandemic, and making sure we have the additional funds to address the needs of our students. Number 3, focusing on literacy and math instructional best practices. This is aligned to curriculum instruction and personalized learning. What is the strategy? Personalized ELA and math adaptive resources. So the request is to have ELA and math online personalized programs, purchase any additional math manipulatives, and professional development for teachers. So the amounts you'll see are $12,000 for PL, $16,000 for resources, as well as $7,395 for media books. At the very beginning of our year at First Go Team, I shared that we have an upgraded media center, but we want to make sure we have current and relevant, culturally appropriate books. So very frequently, we want to make sure we're constantly ordering additional books for our media center for students to check out. Number 4, content mastery achievement. Of course, that's aligned to curriculum instruction. The strategy is going to be instructional support for Tier 1 and small groups. Tier 1 instruction deals with basically grade level instruction provided by the teacher. Once the teachers provided grade level instruction, then they're going to break students into small groups and give them what they need, depending on their levels. One request that we have is to purchase an additional 5th grade teacher and paraprofessional. Currently, we have 2 5th grade teachers, and the goal is to go back to having 3 5th grade teachers next school year. And you'll see the estimated salaries for or costs for a teacher, $90,919, and then for a paraprofessional, $44,197. Number 5, after school Saturday tutorial as well. Whole child and intervention. So we want to provide remediation and enrichment for ELA, math, and for specifically science for 5th grade, because that is the milestones science tested grade. Stipends for instructional staff. Of course, those are going to be for the instructors and coordinators for that staff. Materials and supplies for students and teachers. So that is encompassing $5,000 for stipends, and if necessary, $10,000 for buses. We were told because of gas prices, the cost of getting buses for APS has gone up as well. So this is going to be a higher number than we've used in the past. Typically, I do $5,000 or even $3,000, but this year, because the cost of buses are going up, I've allocated $10,000. Any questions there? All right. Now, looking at our Title I family engagement, we have a total of $6,000. That's also added to that pot. So we're looking at our weekly care team and student attendance committee meetings aligned to whole child and intervention. The strategy is going to be implementation of Tier 1 and Tier 2 attendance strategies. We've been working very, very hard on attendance at Dunbar with our monthly incentives and parents. We are going to start some parent incentives that are coming this month as well. So we want to make sure we have funds available for that to continue next school year. And of course, that's for purchasing incentives for increasing student attendance. $3,000 for that. And then parent liaison and parent center aligned to whole child and intervention. Strategy is going to be providing career parenting resources to families. Right now, We do have some computers in the Parent Center, but we want to increase that with some more computers, some printers, color printers, even a fax machine if necessary, so that when parents need assistance with registration, they can upload their documents to their online account. If they need assistance in looking for jobs and using the computer to do job searches, we want to make sure we have that as well. So of course, that's purchasing Parent Center resources and technology, $3,000 for that. All right, so this is a glance at the budget by function. And so you'll see basically the per pupil amount for $10,745 per pupil. And then you'll see pupil services, how much is allocated there, 2,040. Well, that's 2,040, but the actual budget you'll see in the middle column here. So for instruction, we're dedicating $2,804,315 explicitly to instruction, which is the goal. We want to make sure the most of our dollars are going towards instruction. Pupil services, also student focused, $532,000, 409. Improvement of instructional services, $562,957. You'll see educational media services, $106,958. School admin, so that's basically salaries for principal, assistant principal, counselor, $559,301. Maintenance and operations, $136,172, which gives us a total of $4,702,112. This is another visual to look at the allocation of the funds. So you'll see the biggest part of the pie is going to be here in the light blue, which is 60%, over half of the budget. And of course, that is aligned to instruction. The orange is going to be pupil services, that's 11%. The gray is 12%, which is improvement of instructional services. And these are the bulk. And then of course, you see in the green, school admin for the positions as well, that's 12%. All right, so now we're going to look at, which is hot off the presses. It was an impact and change as of yesterday, officially today, leveling reserve. Oftentimes, and those of you that have been with the GO team for a couple of years, you know that leveling reserve is going to be that pot of money that's kind of put as a safety net. We're not able to allocate or use those funds. It is contingent upon our enrollment. If we're over projections, then we get to use some of those funds. If we're under, in order to kind of maintain what we have, then we have to use those funds. So we have just been given permission to utilize all of the leveling reserves. All of the $55,836 has been put back into the pot for our budget. So the priority for that is focusing on literacy and math, aligned to curriculum instruction, whole child and intervention, and for small group instruction, which is vital for our students because kids come in with various learning needs and enrichment needs. And so we just want to make sure we're giving kids what they need in small groups. Whole group should be very much so. Minimal time during the instructional day, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. The bulk should be in small group with teachers working with students directly in small groups or kids working independently in their independent stations. Of course, we want to make sure we have the needed materials and supplies for those math and reading centers. And so we have that $55,836 allocated for that. So in terms of Title I holdback, at the time of our budget, we had $0 and we still have $0. So there was nothing to allocate or to align with any strategic priorities. Questions for the GO team to consider and discuss. So these are just some questions that we may want to consider in case you're thinking of, how do we want to put this all together? Are new positions and or resources included in the budget to address our major priorities? Absolutely. Because of our turnaround school status, we did get additional funds from the state. And so that is why we're able to afford not only the math specialist and the reading specialist, but we are also getting additional paraprofessionals. And for the most part, like for example, we have 2 teachers in 2nd grade. The goal is to get 3 teachers in 2nd grade. So that's also included in the budget. So the goal is to get as many of our grade levels with a minimum of 3 teachers per grade level as possible. Do we know as a team the plan to support implementation of these priorities beyond the budget? Absolutely. So what strategies are going to be implemented? We have a very rigorous PLC schedule that every day during the week. We have times that our instructional coaches, the administration are meeting with teachers to make sure that they're focused on the work of data and focused on the work of lesson planning. So that's something that's done at least 3 times a week. But we also give teachers some time on their own on Mondays and Fridays to be able to gather those resources and materials in preparation for instruction for the next week. What trade-offs are being made in order to support these priorities? We're in a good position this year. Those of you that have been with the Go team for a while know that usually we're having to abolish or lose positions and kind of tighten up the purse strings a little bit, but we were able to pretty much gain additional resources this school year. Cluster priorities. So some of our cluster priorities are to at least as a cluster to host a fine arts performance for all of our clusters. We had that this last semester, and it was hosted at Jackson. It was hosted at Jackson. And so all of our kids, we had our cheerleaders, our band, and we had artwork on display. So every school in the cluster was able to showcase their student talent as well as artwork. Signature programs, of course, now that we're an IB World School, we can join the ranks of the other, not only cluster IB schools, but also district and national IB schools. Are there positions our school will share with another school? Currently, we have all full-time staff except our special ed lead teacher. That position is still shared with another school, so we have them part of the week, 0.5. Okay, where are we going? And I kind of touched on this a little bit. So of course, during this meeting, we'll review the budget, which should be updated based on feedback from the staffing conference. So this is what happens when we come back. Our associate superintendents and key leaders will meet with me. And then after that, we will have our Go team to take action and vote on the official FY24 budget. That will happen March 16th. March 16th for us because we have to have it done by March 17th. And just making sure that's on our official meeting roster. Yes, March 16th at 4:30 p.m. will be our budget meeting, our final budget meeting. Once again, our staffing conference with Dr. Goodwine is February 27th, and our final Go team meeting will be March 16th. Any questions before we go back to the agenda? And this is our second look. So a lot of this is not new information. And we're definitely in a better position than we've been in most years. All right, just wrapping up information items, principal's report. Once again, I'm so excited. I keep saying this over and over. We are now an IB World School authorized. So we'll be having that celebration March 31st. Saturday school is in full effect. So we've been sending class dojo reminders, robocalls, and we're still recruiting more students. So we want to get as many of our students that are fully engaged and ready to work at our Saturday school. Turnaround school fair, we have some positions out there, so we have to find quality, highly qualified educators to fill those positions. We will have a job fair this Saturday at Maynard Jackson High School from 9 to 12. So that's already on the go. It will be with other schools as well. So of course, you know, Dunbar is going to represent highly with our professionalism and our excitement for education. So we've already had a lot of people to email me directly saying that they were interested in some of the posted positions. So our goal is to make sure we put the best people in front of our students. And that's going to be a challenge, you know, that currently right now in education, we have a lot of teachers leaving the profession. And so we're combating that. So we're doing our best to still try to find the best educators for our students. We just had on yesterday our fathers and football parent engagement event that went over very, very well. Got a lot of positive feedback from that. But now it's going to be time for our moms and the women to kick off with Women's History Month on March 1st. So we have an event coming up for our moms and female guardians of our students. So that's going to be really, really nice because it's going to be more of an empowerment fair for our moms. And so we want you guys to come out and be prepared to be inspired and to be empowered. All right, it's not on the agenda, but if there's no further discussion, we can move or adjourn the meeting. All right, with saying that there's no more discussion, Mr. Emerson has captured all the notes in the minutes. We're going to go ahead and close this meeting. Thank you guys for being such a supportive Go team. Thank you for us having quorum plus on today. And so that's a great. And Diane knows this. I am so proud of all of our parents that are on, because in the past we haven't had as much parent participation. So thank you, ladies, for answering the call and representing parents for the Go team. Thank you. Thank you.
Wonderful sight to see.
Awesome. Absolutely. All right, you guys, with that, going to stop our recording. And I want everyone to have a great afternoon. We got to go home and find my fur baby and let them out, take them for a walk.
Thank you, Mr. Sessoms.
Have a great one, you guys.
You too. Bye-bye.
Principal Sessoms, if you